Today I'm going to show you a really powerful team in Unicorn Overlord that you can make quite early on in the game and have it carry you through a lot of fights, easily one-rounding most enemy units or at least doing a lot of damage. This is before even the Scarlet fight, but you can make this team much earlier. So of course there are 4 units which will require you to get to Renown rank C. However, this team works perfectly fine with only 3 units anyway. So for now I will remove Sharon because earlier this was the team I was using when I only had 3 units. It was Lex, Bruno and Christine. Christine is a generic flyer for me because technically speaking you don't get a flyer or a main character flyer for quite a while, but you can get Christine as soon as you free up Oakless. You can tell because there's a Griffin Rider right out front, and here's where you can hire Griffin Knights. Now, why is this Griffin Knight so good? Well, one, she has naturally high-ish evasion against grounded units. Kind of like Travis, just not as powerful because she doesn't have built-in evades and stuff like that. However, her attacks are where things become crazy good. So right now she has a Rose Knight axe. This is just the weapon that Fran has. It's very interesting in that when you first find Fran and she joins you momentarily, after she leaves your party, she is still in your squad. So you can actually pull her weapon from her, which has a great physical attack and initiative and accuracy, all of which are amazing for just Griffin Knights in general. Now, why do we want this? Because High Swing is a ranged AoE attack that attacks all of the enemies in a row. So it can attack up to 3 enemies. And because it is ranged, it can technically reach the backline, which is very powerful. This does mean though that technically speaking, it can be blocked by having, say, a hoplite or something. Use arrow cover, which is dumb as it sounds. It can block an axe. And the reason why I have these 2 high swings here is I, one, prioritize the row with most combatants. So if there are 3 units in the front or 3 units in the back, I prioritize the row with the most units so that I can get the most bang for my buck. But if they are equal, like let's say it's 2 and 2, I prioritize the back row as a second condition because it's normally the more damaging heavy people in the back, like let's say the archers or the mages or the healers and stuff like that. So I want to prioritize that back row. We also have prioritized cavalry. This is more for hot switching. So if I know that they are cavalry, which this is going to be very effective against, I'll make that a priority if I know this will end up doing more damage or is more beneficial to me. Other than that though, we have some items here. We have a lucky coin, which again, in that same quest that unlocks Griffin Riders, that unlocks Sharon for later on, Sharon has a lucky coin. Evasion plus 20, crit rate plus 20. Helps out her evasion, helps out her crit rate, and it is great. In one of the shops, I forget which, you can also buy a crude tasset. There are actually multiple shops that sell this. It is Warcry, which increases your physical attack by 20% for the entire battle. This is very important. You'll see why in just a second. Otherwise, though, we have Bruno and Lex. Both of these two you should have by the time you can recruit Griffin Riders. Bruno has a Dancer's Bracelet. This essentially gives the ability Powerful Call, which grants 30% physical attack for an ally's next attack. And notice the trait says limited. Again, you'll see why in just a second why that is important. Now, Lex is here because although Christine can dodge a lot of attacks, her one weakness, of course, is archers. And so what Lex actually has, he's a bit differently set up now because this is still in preparation for my 4-player party. But what he would have instead of this Dancer's Bracelet is I actually gave him, sometimes, depending on how things would go, I would sometimes give him a Lapis Pendant because he has arrow cover, which can cover an ally and nullify the damage hit. So normally that would be for blocking out archers. Obviously, this is situational. If there's no archers, you don't really need it. That's why I don't have Lapis Pendant on them right now. But if I ever get into a fight where there are multiple archers, and for some or other reason they are faster than me, then I would have Lapis Pendant and multiple arrow cover blocks. But in an ideal scenario, Christine is fast enough that she can go first, at least wipe out, let's say, 1, maybe 2 archers in the back row so that you don't have to worry about them counterattacking you. But the reason why now things are changed is that I now have rank C, which means I can now have Sharon in here as well. And that makes a big change. Once you have Sharon, you can also go and buy a very special item for 15,000 gold over here in the walled city of Barbatimo, which is where you fight Mordon. You can buy a, what is it called? A lyrical wand here, which has active heal, base AP plus 1 to the target that you heal, which is amazing. So essentially you're using a heal to not only heal, but also give them another attack. With Sharon in this team now, here's how this works. We have Lapis Pendant so that you can have multiple quick heals. With Lyrical Wand, I have this set up in a very special way. We have 2 regular heals. The reason why this is here is because obviously it makes sense. Have active heal target only our Christine so that she can have another attack. This 0 AP isn't really necessary. In fact, let me remove this. But the important thing is what happens if the backline gets hurt, right? She still needs to be able to heal them. So that is why we still have our regular heals where she can do 2 of those. With the back row priority and target HP is -50, that means that she will only do a regular heal if somebody in the back row is at 50% HP or less. Also, I should move these 2 around here. I don't want Sharon in the same row as Christine because a spear would then hurt her as well. This means that let's say Bruno is at 75% HP. That's not low enough. I don't have to waste a heal. I will still use my active heal on Christine. The reason why I don't do the second heal as well is because the second heal is only if my AP is at 1 or less with Sharon. So these 2 are sort of the same conditional. Now, let's say that somebody is hurt. Let's say that for some other reason, Bruno is at 10 health. He needs a heal. When it comes to Sharon's turn, she will look at this and say, oh, back row needs to be healed because Bruno is at low HP. And then, she'll have 1 AP left over, so then she can still use that to heal anybody as if it's, a regular heal. Now, why am I using back row and not prioritize back row? That is because, let's say Christine is at low HP and she is at, 10 HP and everybody else is at full. If I use prioritize back row, it can still target people in the front row. It just says prioritize. Back row is strictly, though, it will not activate if there are no applicable targets. If I use prioritize back row, here's what would happen. Let's say Christine is at low HP. Sharon goes, oh, nobody in the back row needs healing, but I can heal the front line. Let me heal that. Oh, I only have 1 AP left. Let me use another regular heal. When instead, I could just not use a regular heal and have it roll over to active heal, which just gives a big heal to Christine. Because the second heal has no conditional targeting, if both Christine is hurt and also Bruno is hurt, this means that she can then heal anybody with her regular heals, or for that second heal specifically. And then now that we do have Sharon to deal with our heals and stuff like that, because Sharon can now give Christine a second attack, this frees up Lex to have a Dancer's Bracelet. And you don't have to worry about any conditionals for this powerful call. The only reason why I have flying here is I don't want Lex or Bruno to buff each other. And you do not have to worry about them both buffing Christine for the same attack. They do not stack because you can see Powerful Call is limited. So Powerful Call will trigger once for the first attack and then a separate one for the second attack. The reason why Lex has no archer enemies as well is so that if there is an archer on the opposing side, we want to make sure that we are able to still cover for that. And I'm not 100% certain, but I think this will still work in that if there are archer enemies present, or if there are no archer enemies present, technically speaking, Lex would use his Powerful Call for the first attack. But if there are archer enemies present, then Bruno will use his Powerful Call first. And if Christine does happen to wipe out all of the archers, I think maybe this conditional will be activated and say that there are no archer enemies left standing. So maybe he can then go for the second Powerful Call for Christine's follow-up attack. But so far though, this team is incredibly powerful. It can do a lot of damage. It can do a lot of snowballing. As you'll probably see some video in the background. I've only been able to use it against 3 so far. But for the 4, I put it against some of my own other teams that have like high damage or high defense, stuff like that. And also, she just sweeps through them amazingly. But hopefully though, you enjoy this team and you find it useful. I do have some other teams that I could show off. Maybe if you're interested in this Hodrick unit that I have over here in the bottom, or this Elaine unit that I have as well in the top left, maybe I'll do videos on that if people are interested. After all, this is more of a shot in the dark of what I'm trying to do here. I am really enjoying Unicorn Overlord, and I could not help but think how much of an absolute murder squad this team is. So I felt like I had to share it. But hopefully though, you enjoyed it. If you do want to know some more about some of these other teams that I have, please do let me know in the comments and maybe I'll make videos on that as well. Until next time though, bye bye.